starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
From the Carolinas, where the black and blue runs deep, PantherPickle's on the mic, no secrets that he'll keep. Been here since day one, through the glory and the pain. Got opinions sharper than a linebacker's campaign. If you can't handle truth, well, buddy, here's the deal. Shut the hell up. That's how Pickle keeps it real. It's time to deal with it. Every Sunday we ride.
Yes, sir. Blue and Black Attack. We are live. This is Deal With It, a pickle podcast. How we feeling tonight? The salty superstar, PantherPickle.
Boys, I tell you what, I'm agitated. I'm so damn agitated, I'm going to let Rico spell it out a little bit. Maybe if I click on the right damn button. Oh, shout out to Carolina Blitz. This is her video, so give her the praise.
This team where it seems like, you can have a game like you guys did last week and then this week struggle offensively.
Just inconsistent. Been the case the whole year. Just got to find a way to keep going up, not like this.
What is the solution to that? I mean, just from your perspective.
I don't know. I don't really have an answer right now.
I asked Dave about you only having 6 carries in the game. You got a top 10 rushing offense. Was that by design or?
No idea. Yeah, that's just, the coaches make their decisions and call the game plan, and we just go with it as players. So.
How do you build on this? You got another tough game.
Just got to stay positive, get to the next game, try and go 1-0 the next week.
What is it about this team where it seems like
I feel you, Rico.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
sir.
revealing, isn't it? Yeah.
The inconsistency on this team has Panther fans inconsistent with your opinions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 1 minute you praise him, next minute you down him. I mean, for the love of God, get over it, Panthers. Come on. Dave Canales, you was hired and gave a 5-year deal to praise how great you was. And what did I say? Not jack flip up shit. I'm aggravated. I mean, what do you say? 9 runs? 9 flipping runs? Call yourself a run first offense and you do 9 flipping runs? Well, we passed a lot last week. You a head coach, dude. You're the offensive coordinator. You might as well say you are. And the head coach. Come on. Pull it out of your cracker, your butt, and get over it. Bryce, you were drafted first overall. Come on, dude. Play like it, brother. Play like it. Stop this hum-hawing bullshitting around. It's bullshit. I just stay up all night long to watch that fucking piece of shit I watched yesterday. That's garbage. Xavier Sanders, I hyped you up for what? For you to run out there and act like a fool? Oh, you were supposed to block so Rico could get in the end zone. What'd you do? You ran right past him, didn't even chip him, didn't touch him, turned around and said, where's the ball at? You're a professional, brother. You don't know how to do your job. I heard a guy say today that he thought that Dave Canales didn't call a lot of deep pass plays to start with because he was scared because there were so many rollouts in this game because of Austin Corbett and and uh, Chandler Zavala. Well, guess what, folks? Let's be real, okay? Let's be real. Um, then don't play him. Then don't play him. You have a backup center, a guy that you've held on to this team. If you don't like him so much, play the other guy. What's you going to hurt? I mean, how can he be worse than Corbett? I mean, this is bullshit. And I mean, and you know, Bryce Young deserves some slack. No, he deserves some heat today for as bad as he played. There were multiple plays that he was standing there holding, looking for one guy to get open. There were people all over the place open. And Dave Canales, some of these play calls that you did are ignorance. I could do a better play call on Madden. Or, to be honest with you, AI could probably do a better play calling than you doing. I mean, people want to talk. Some folks want to talk about replacing Bryce. Well, guess what? You know what? You can replace Bryce. It still ain't. It still ain't gonna do no good. Cole, you could go out where you work out, drag the garbage dumpster, paint it pink with little purple flowers. Guess what? It's still a fucking garbage dumpster. No matter how much you want to paint it up, it's still a fucking garbage dumpster. That's exactly what you be doing. Go trade for Mac Jones or Jameis Winston right now. Well, you can't right now. Trade him in the offseason. If that's the only change you're doing, they're gonna look as bad as they was when they were with Tampa uh, and the Patriots. It ain't gonna help none. If you want to change this shit, then you've got to you've got to do multiple changes. Replacing a quarterback will not fix it if the offensive coordinator / head coach can't figure out what he's doing. Go get you an experienced offensive coordinator and say hire him as your offensive coordinator. You like Brad Isaac. He's your buddy. He's your workout partner. That's nice. Give him a job somewhere in the building and you're good. That's happened for multiple amount of years. Call it a promotion if it makes you feel better about it. So it's regardless, okay. And then that way everything's covered. And yeah, yes. Will it make it easier if you decide to fire him? Well, Buttercup, that's how the NFL works. You can't handle that kind of deal. Go back to college. College is that way too. Maybe you go to high school. I mean, I am. I got on and I blew up on some post somewhere, and Twitter apparently didn't like that. And they basically had to be more nicer. Twitter can suck the hell up because I'm gonna say what I want to say. The, 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 you know, I really feel for the players. A lot of people love Rico like I do, and you really want to sign him. Now, ask me this. You tell me, if you're Rico Dow and your agent calls and said Dan wants to give you a contract, and you're going to say what to run 5 times to split a game that's going to carry me the ball 9 times? Me and Cuba got to share it. No. Why would you want to sign that kind of contract? I mean, y'all. There's people out there saying Rico's our future. No, he's not. Not unless we can figure out the pass, the running back schemes and the offense, because he ain't going to sign here for that. You people talk about bringing in all these elite guys and these free agents till they see growth at somewhere. They ain't coming here. They ain't coming here, y'all. They ain't gonna come here and see an offense who's confusion. I see people getting flags. I mean, let's be real. The most physical play I saw yesterday was Moe hit a guy in the nuts. That's the most physical we were of all the games yesterday. That's the most physical. Come on, man. We went from keep pounding to keep sucking. That's embarrassing. Cole, tell me what you think, brother.
Pickle, I love these conversations because I'm just as fiery as you are, and we usually are right on the same page with ours. The only difference is, and you know what I'm about to say, I think. I know, and you know, and eventually all Panther fans, unfortunately, are going to figure out who Bryce Young is unless he starts playing dramatically different consistently, like right now. And I think that's the biggest problem. I really do. I really do. Now, you have me thinking because we talked a couple weeks ago. If you're going to do this and you're going to do that, just get rid of everybody. I don't really want to do that, but in this league, that seems like what teams trend to do from time to time. It's just really a confusing time. They really make us look
Mhm.
stupid on a weekly basis, especially Bryce. I'm not even gonna lie to you because last week I was all the way in, and I'm telling you the exact opposite of what I'm telling you right now. And I think most importantly, Pickle, I've never seen just one singular play that can make me sway my decision on a player exactly. But the bullshit with Bryce Young last night, refusing to run the ball in a wide open end zone and hit the front pylon that he could have just walked into, and he decides to throw the ball into triple coverage and throw an interception. I think that's when I blew my shit. I think that's when a lot of Panther fans blew their shit last night. And it's just, I had a conversation with a Panthers fan earlier today. I said, it's a damn shame out of all the people last night, Avero deserves to be here more than Canales and Bryce Young right now. And I'll stand on that shit. And I never thought I would be able to say that. All week long, we were worried about the defense. What's the defense going to do? Offense is going to be fine. Truth of the matter is, the damn defense has played better than the offense this season, Pickle. In multiple games, they've carried their ass. We've had our moments on defense where we've been shitty, but we've been just as stagnant, if not worse, on offense, and it's very concerning. For us to be in this position, I need to be thankful. We are getting better. But the main thing I want to let you know is, and I already said it without finishing what I was going to say, I know who Bryce Young is. I don't know who Dave Canales is as a play caller with a capable quarterback. I don't. So I don't know where we go from here. Uh, it sounds bad because we're only like a game out of the playoffs and we're still in it, so we can't really throw in the towel. But it's just an interesting time. There's going to be so much going on these next month and a half for the regular season. I can't wait to see how this shit ends, my brother. Shout out to you and D's. I appreciate being here with y'all.
Shout out to um, Mr. D's, my friend. Are you all right, brother?
Yeah, I was just lagging a little bit.
We're
You
about
got
to
me
kill
back
him
in
with this
quickly.
negativity, D.
Yeah.
No, y'all were fine. Let
No.
me let me. This is the opinions of many Panthers fans
Right.
right now,
Exactly.
and it may not personally be my own opinion of what we saw last night. But let me validate some of these opinions that you have. That was a horrible game by Bryce Young.
Right.
Okay, and where that game come from off the back of a record-breaking franchise-setting performance, I have no idea. You know what?
Never saw it coming.
That was a deer in headlights. That was the Panthers in headlights. They weren't ready for the prime time. They weren't ready to step on that grandest stage and perform. And with
Hmm.
Canales, that was his first ever primetime game.
You could
Something to
tell.
think about.
You could tell, D's.
Yeah, he wasn't ready. Why
Mm-mm.
wasn't he ready? I don't know. Does he have
That's
bad
no
people around
excuse.
him? Yeah. Is Jim Caldwell messing him up behind the scenes? Is somebody holding Dave Canales back that we don't know of? Does the locker room not believe in the way that he preps the team for the game? I, I don't know because it looked like it last night. The
Right.
defense was in over its head. That
Absolutely.
defense with practice squad linebackers versus Kyle Shanahan and Christian McCaffrey,
Right.
they just scooped up a big old
Hmm.
spoonful of Christian McCaffrey and shoved it down this defense's throat.
Yep.
They beat
And
us
it
how we've
was
been beating people, D's. We've been
well,
beating
and,
people the same way they beat us last night.
and that's exactly what we should have done, in my
Hmm.
opinion. But of course, hindsight's 2020.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
going back
Right.
out here guessing behind the coach on what you should have called, and it's easy to sit back and say, oh well, that run play didn't work, you should have passed, or that pass play didn't work, you should have ran. And a
Mhm.
lot of conjecture and stuff that I've taken in today was that, and to that fact, and that's okay. That's totally fine. If you're a fan, you have every right to call it out and say something about it. That's what I was
Hmm.
telling Pico on camera before we started. I said, you let it go. I said, you tell these people how you feel about the game. It was bad. And the fans feel bad. You show them that you feel the same way. That's exactly what Pickle did. I got mad respect for that because
Yes,
that's
sir.
what fans need in a lot of ways. They need somebody to tell them like it is and tell them how it looked and how it felt. And it looked bad and it felt bad. I was screaming at my television. Y'all know I'm normally pretty laid back. And even watching a Panthers game, where we're losing by a lot, I'm still watching to see some young guys make some plays. But last night, it felt disheartening. It felt real disheartening from the get-go. And I think the fact that it never got better until maybe T-Mac caught that long touchdown, that's the
Right.
only time it felt decent the whole game. When we
Right.
threw the ball down the field, T-Mac come up with that touchdown. He just burned that guy. I mean, he really did. Blew right by him. And I'm like, where is this offense been? Where is this at? Rico had a
Yeah.
17-yard run. We didn't follow it up with another Rico run.
He
And I'm
was
like,
doing
what are we
fine. I don't
doing?
understand that at all. He was doing fine running the ball. Why just completely forget him in the
5
second
and
half?
6
I don't
yard
understand it.
carries. I don't either. Why go pass happy on short passes? Why are we going pass
Right.
happy into the flat? Like, I guess that's my biggest question, Pickle. I'm gonna hand it back over to you. Why did we have so many short passes to the flat? Why was Rico our leading receiver? I mean, I know T-Mac had some bad drops, and that
Right.
hurt him, and he should have been. He had the most targets. He had 7. I've already looked into
Right.
it. But other than that, why are we going crazy dumping the ball into the flats to us, the tight end, or dumping the ball in the flats to the running back? Because Chuba and Rico both had a lot of receptions there. Was that just a weakness in that defense versus the 49ers? Or is there something else going on here with the play call?
It's a good question. It's a super good question. Um, I don't know that I have the answer for it, but it's a good question. But yeah, and you know why? And when Canales is, I know Canales got up on his press conference today and he said, I got carried away with the pass and I should have run it. Oh, horse shit. I heard all that bullshit before. I've heard it every single time we lose. They blame themselves. They say I'll take the heat for it, and we've got to do better, and we're going to do better. Bullshit. It's bullshit. How many times you gonna lie to my face and kick me in the teeth? And I ain't got many teeth to be kicked in. But how many times you gonna kick me in the mouth and tell me it's accident? Fuck that shit. There's an old saying, uh, screw me once, shame on you. Screw me twice, shame on me. Screw me a third time, apparently I like it, and I don't. So, something down along that road fits this Panther team because, uh, and I know we're developing. I know we're trying to learn. Uh, and injuries are a massive, massive headache right now. Uh, but I got to see growth. You keep shoving this undrafted linebacker down my throat that you've been developing for 3 years now, and he looks the same as he did 3 years ago. Uh, that's not developing. I don't know. I don't know how you get that's not developing. You know, um, there's a point when you as the staff have to understand: are you actually developing this guy, or is this guy starting because he was drafted and maybe he shouldn't? Jatavian Sanders, um, so far this year has not.
Nothing.
He looked like the fourth round pick he was selected in. He didn't look like the higher pick that people thought he was. Um, it's time for him to maybe step out of the way and let somebody else step in there. Uh, I believe that
Pickle,
it's
real
time to.
quick before you get on that.
Yeah. Well, that was quick. Well,
Oh, it's just connectivity. I'm sure. I
yeah,
really
yeah,
like
he'll be back.
Mitchell. I really like Mitchell.
Yes.
He's been inactive a lot.
Right.
I think he deserves probably an opportunity to play if things keep going
Hmm.
south. Like
Right.
if we're just looking like there's no chance for us to make the playoffs at all, I would like to see him get some time in there and get some reps
Right.
because he's a guy that I'm looking to hang on to into the future. I know that a lot
Absolutely.
of people are looking to upgrade this tight end room in the upcoming draft, and that's totally fine with me. But I do feel like it's a solid tight end room anyway.
Right.
It just needs to grow a little more. And those questions that you're asking, like why don't we do this and why don't, is that? I think that is the answer. They need to grow and get a
Right.
little better with the playbook and what's going on and
Right.
their assignments and their directives. Cole, you said you have one thing you wanted to bring up real quick. I'm going to hand it off to you.
You're muted. No, we cannot hear you.
Oh, he's in. Oh, he's got to get his
Okay.
audio back.
Well, yeah, and James Mitchell's been inactive for several games now, and there's a point when James Mitchell is one of your best blocking tight ends. When you send a guy out in the flat to block, I might be wrong. I'm not a professional, D's. You tell me what you think. Would you not maybe you add if you're going to send a tight end to block, maybe send a blocking tight end to block?
That's what I was gonna say, Pickle. Why the hell would you call that shit when you know Jatavion's gonna be in a run blocking situation and they still march him out there to do it? This is something that I've noticed for a while now, even when it wasn't costing us really. But he's a terrible run blocker. I don't know
Right,
whether he just whips, he doesn't have the awareness, he doesn't
right.
have the wherewithal to
Well,
hunt somebody down and put him in the
right.
dirt. I don't know. At this point, Pickle, he should be a big slot receiver. His ass should never
Yes,
be on
right.
all fours in the line
Um,
of scrimmage.
and
Never.
and to count on that a little bit, when he was a rookie, we knew that coming in. Uh, Shout out to G Baby, who's a Texas fan, and educated me a little bit on Sanders when he came out, and he said, Sanders like that coming out. In his rookie year, he really stride later in the season. You could tell he was striding to block. He was learning to block. And in the offseason, he lost weight so he could be more faster. I'm not certain whether that was the coach's idea, his idea, or whoever's idea. But it does appear that was a bad idea regardless. Because uh Sanders uh should have blocked a little bit. You know, Xavier Leggett is a wide receiver and he blocks better than Sanders, but something happened. Sanders, the end of his rookie year, he was getting better at blocking and he was learning. And then the offseason and this year, he's just like he's stopped trying to block. And that one play we're talking about, if you watch that play, it's very clear he wasn't trying to block. I would pull that play up, but I'm
It's all
afraid
good.
afraid to get
He,
dinged.
yeah, because it's a full play. But what it is you got a guy like Mitchell Evans that's chomping at his heels. Really,
Right.
that's had a good year for us. Mitchell
Yes.
Evans has done more than I really expected him to do. He's performed better in the blocking game than I expected him to do, and now we're seeing Sanders regress in that area when after like you said he had so much progression last year, and it's just we can't he can't Sanders can't afford to have those types of lapses on the
Right.
field because of a guy like Evans behind him that's has been good at receiving and been good at blocking as well, and not to even mention Tommy Tremble. We know Tommy can block. Tommy blocks great. He's basically our H back, and not only that, he had the game-winning reception more or less last week in Atlanta. So, that's a very competitive tight end room, and to go out at the end of the game where we're making mistakes like that is just a big, big mistake going forward. I think when you've got so many guys nipping at your heels that are ready to make
Right.
their mark on the NFL as well.
Right. Absolutely. And uh G Baby's in the chat and he says we will win this division. I promise y'all. Well, that's possible. It really is
I love it.
possible. D's, do you think right now it would be a plus or negative for us to win this division?
Going forward,
Mm.
For us to win this division this year. It's
it'd be
still possible.
yeah.
But I'm looking at the Tampa Bay schedule and looking at our schedule. I don't see that's how possible. I don't see that's coming, but so
Well,
we'll know.
this team can overperform. This
Right,
2025 Panthers team can do crazy stuff. Like
right,
just any given Sunday may come out and just blow the wheels off the other team. We've seen it happen. 30-0 in Atlanta, like we didn't expect that. Beat Green Bay at home, we didn't expect that. You know,
Right.
I mean, this team
Right.
can do it. It has the ability, it has the potential, but it lacks maybe the discipline. Maybe the discipline's a problem. Maybe they're not
It may
disciplined
be.
enough to go out and perform at that level each and every week. And
Right.
maybe we need to tighten down a little bit.
Right.
Maybe the offensive line coach needs to lead a few meetings going into some of these games, because this quick
Mhm.
turnaround, as banged up as we are going against the
Right.
Rams, is not a game I'm looking forward to watching. And playing the Seahawks as well, even though we're lucky and we're at home against the Seahawks, I'm not looking forward to that game,
Right.
because each and every Sunday I'm watching my television, I'm seeing Sam Darnold hit a bomb to ISM so down the field. So it's going to be a tough road for the Panthers with the injuries they have. But I'm not giving up hope. Now
Right.
we're 6-6, and we haven't been 500 since Steve Wilkes was an interim head coach running this team and getting us to that record. So there's a lot to cheer for right now with the Carolina Panthers, but it's a lot of hard work and it's straight uphill. And I tell you what, if they do pull this off and win this division, then
Hmm.
we're going to be primed and ready for the playoffs, because this is nothing but playoff teams from here to the end of the schedule that is set for the Saints game, as far as I know.
Right. That's very true. That's very true. And gee, I agree. The center and the right guard that played the other day, played Sunday, are trash. I believe Chandler Zavala got hurt, and I don't know that we'll see him back on the. I don't know that we'll see him. Uh, uh, I don't know that we'll see him the rest of this year. I don't know his injuries. But yeah, those injuries to Hunt, Mays, and Brady Christensen has hurt quite a bit. So, um, but we'll we just got to keep pounding, and it's hard for us to see and experience what we saw Sunday and say keep pounding. But that's just what we got to do as fans. We just got to keep pounding. Um, um, the Rams are. We'll be playing the Rams next week. Um, Cole, are you back, brother? Uh, but we'll be playing the Rams at home. Uh, the Rams have come to Charlotte. Dees, what do you think of that game?
Pretty dread. I'm really dreading that game after watching the Rams and the Bucks play, Pickle. I mean, the Rams, they that wasn't even a game between them and Tampa Bay. They destroyed Tampa Bay, and the Rams went on this run last year where they won 8 straight games, or whatever it was, to make the playoffs, and then beat they beat some team they weren't supposed to beat in the playoffs to advance as well. I mean, the pressure that they can generate from that defensive line is not something that I want to face with our very last guard starting. Our very
Right,
last guard from the practice squad starting. It's not a good feeling whatsoever. We need Kate
right.
Mays back, first of all.
Yes,
I
yes,
think that's the biggest thing we can do for this offense going
right,
forward, is get Cade Mays back in there.
right.
Um,
If we don't, if Channel Savala can't play, I really want to give that other guy a chance.
at 6'6", yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes, I really do want to
He
give him
looks the
more
part.
playing time. I mean, he does. He looks like he knows what he's doing out there. I really want to see him play. And um, they did, uh, and Morig will be suspended for the Rams game. They did sign Isaiah uh, Simmons to the practice squad. We called him a linebacker. Canales said today they're not certain whether they're going to play him at safety or linebacker. I would put him in the Morig role. Uh, I would put him at linebacker, and uh, start Ransom at safety.
Now,
What I
I
would
love
do.
this conversation. I love it. I love it, because I was really watching closely Mo Rig last night,
Right,
and Avero has gotten pretty extraordinary with what he's doing with him. Like
right,
exotic, I think is the word I'm looking for. He's got Mo Rig in like these exotic packages, and you don't know if he's in coverage or if he's coming to blitz. And this is the kind of stuff I've been waiting for from Avero for a long time. and Panthers
Right.
fans have too. Like we always wanted to see Jeremy Chin go into this role and play this role that Morig is playing for the Panthers now,
Right.
and he never got the opportunity. Evero didn't give him a chance, and Chin went on to the Commanders, and he's been doing well for himself. I think he's with the Raiders now, but nevertheless, to see these exotic packages from Morig is
What's up,
nice.
Cole?
I'm good. I had a little situation, Pickle. I was trying to pick the cat up off the ground, and I swear to God, I caught the worst cramp of my life, like right in my stomach, and it still hurts like a
Yeah,
bitch.
I've been there, done
No,
that.
but I was listening. What was your question you asked me a minute ago? I'd be glad to answer it. I don't even remember what it was.
I
You
can't
just
remember.
asked me if I was still here.
Go
I thought
ahead,
you had
D.
something in general.
Go ahead. What
Go
you were
ahead, Deej.
saying?
My fault.
Yeah, I just finish up with saying, Isaiah Simmons, bringing him in. He's a guy that
Right.
can play that hybrid role like
Yes.
Morig, but I don't think he's ready to play it to that level. And I am
No.
excited about Ransom starting anyway. I think
Right.
Ransom laid a lot of hard hits. I really like how he was aggressive against Christian McCaffrey on the sideline after having surgery on his hand. He really laid the wood to Christian McCaffrey, knocking him out of bounds. And I'm like,
Right.
there's a guy that's a rookie in the league, drafted late in the draft, and
Right.
he's not scared of anything, and he's not scared of the McCaffrey superstardom,
Right.
and he's out there to do his job, and I really respect that from Ransom, and I like him getting more playing time anyway, especially what after what we saw of the failure to wrap up by a certain safety in the first drive of San Francisco where Jennings scored that touchdown, if you know what I'm alluding to.
Right.
And he's got to stop doing that, Deez, because he was just going for the big hit. He went in there, didn't wrap anybody up, and he just ran through three of our defenders, and the receiver popped right out and walked in. It was disgusting.
Y'all, I want to say shout out to Corey Thornton, who
Shout
will
out to
be
him, man. That hurt,
placed
Pickle.
on injured reserve with a fractured fibula. Um,
He had a nice season, and he has
he
a
does
future
it.
here. I just
He
want to
came
say
he
that.
came in as an undrafted free agent, um, and he took control and he was playing when JC Horn went out with a concussion and he's in concussion protocol. Corey stepped in opposite of Jackson and looked the part.
Yes, he
He has a
did.
bright future ahead of him. He should attack the rehab exactly like he's attacked coming in and playing, and he'll be ready for next year.
Extremely proud of the way he played this year, Pickle. I hope he recovers well because I do believe he is a future starter here. He played great.
Right, he did.
I mean, after that interception last night from Mike Jack deep and in the end zone, I mean, is there any doubt that he's our number two cornerback going forward? Is anybody
Not
still
me.
concerned that we need a number two cornerback? Because I'm not. That Mike
No.
Jack is our guy as far as
Yeah,
I'm concerned moving forward.
he looked the part.
Corey Thornton, Chow Smith Wade. I mean, to me, we're done at quarterback as at cornerback as long as they progress. If Corey Thornton gets a little bit better, Chow Smith Wade progresses next year a little bit better. I don't think we need any more cornerbacks. If you want to take a stab at one late in the draft, I can see that, Pickle.
Right.
But other than that, these guys are good enough in my opinion because Thornton. They say Thornton is competitive in practice every day, and he
Right.
certainly has been when he had his opportunity, especially last week versus Atlanta. Like I said before, like I said Saturday when we did our live, he looked like a star. I mean, he really did, and he had the chops last night against that Shanahan offense. And
Right.
if you got it against the Shanahan offense, then you got it, buddy. You're good to go.
That's a
And
fact.
I'm cheering for him. I'm cheering for both of them, Shout Smith Wade and Corey Thornton, and I hope it works out for both those guys. And this defense for the Carolina Panthers can move forward and not have to worry about cornerback as a problem in the future.
Pickle,
Right.
real quick before you go on, this is related to what Deez is talking about. I want to give a shout out to both of y'all and myself. When we were sitting there at FanFest, and it's been how many months ago already, Corey Thornton stood out. Bryson Tremaine stood out. We both looked at each other, all three of us said, who the hell is this? But he's going to be a contributor. And our eyes have not lied. I feel like they've both been decent, and they both are going to get better going forward
Right.
with us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. To answer G Baby's question here, is there a chance we get back at the bye week? Yes. Last report I heard, he was working out on the sidelines. He was actually running on the sidelines. He's really looking the part. Uh, but it won't happen till the bye week if it
When is our
happens.
bye week, Pickle?
I
I
don't
don't even
remember.
know when our bye week is. Do y'all know?
I don't remember. I don't remember. I'd have to
Would
look.
you still do it if we're out of the playoffs at that point? Because I'm not so sure I would do that.
If we're already out of the playoffs at that point, I wouldn't. But
That's
I
not
don't.
the case right now.
Yeah, I'm not certain that that'll.
And I guess big picture, what I really need to grasp on and feel better, Pickle, is that we're talking about this and we're this mad late into November because we still have implications in the season to play for. I
Right.
think if we would have all sat down and said, you know what, you're going to have meaningful football in late November and early December, I think any Panthers fan on this earth would have took that coming into the season. So we got to commend them at least for that.
Right.
I got the answer to your question real quick before you go, Pickle, and then
Okay. Go
please
ahead.
go after me. So it's Rams next, of course. We're at home. Then Saints on the road, December 14th. Then we're at home versus the Buccaneers, December 21st. We're at home versus the Seahawks, December 28th. And then our last game of the season is at the Buccaneers, January 4th. And it seems like that's always the case. We end our season in Tampa Bay. And that's where
Right.
we are once again.
Right.
It seems like we've
Right.
done that 3 years in a row. We're
I
almost three
agree.
years in a row.
I
Yeah, four
agree.
years, something like that.
Yeah, and our bye week is week 14, so we play the Rams next week, and then we have a bye after that.
G
So
Baby might be on to something. If we could get Hunt back for that last little stretch, that could be big for us and make a difference if we act right with the play calling and not turn the rock over.
right.
It changes the dynamic of that offensive line 100% is what it does. I mean, getting a
Yes.
guy like Hunt back.
Right.
It's not the same offensive line with Corbett there or Hunt there, or even Zavala for that matter. From what we've seen, I mean, this is going to be it's a massive, massive upgrade. And after losing Derek Brown last year and then Hunt this year, it's like, are the Panthers ever going to get a break, Pickle? I mean, can we just get a year with some decent health for the
I'm.
entire season?
It's been
I
biting our ass. It used to not always be this bad, Pickle, but the last few years it's been way
Yep.
worse than usual.
Yeah. Yep. And a lot of it, I think, is how the NFL has slowly taken away training,
Yes.
team wise
Even
training, and
contact in practice, Pickle,
yeah,
I think
and
that's got something to do
and
with it.
and they pretty much forced these players to do their own training, their own workouts. And when they do that, sometimes I think they overdo themselves on their individual workouts. And then I just believe sometimes that I think a lot of that goes coincides. Uh, and
It sounds
the
like what happened with Jalen Coker a little bit, Pickle.
Right. Well, the NFLPA is trying to push it to where at the beginning of August, everybody, or the middle of July rather, everybody shuts all 32 teams. Uh, each team does their training camp. They start with the mandatory training camp then, but it consists of physicals. It consists of getting in shape. It's working
Conditioning, all
out.
that shit.
It's
I agree with that.
conditioning, the whole
I like
nine
that.
yards, and it's all the way through. And that might be the best thing to do. But
That might be the first thing they can get put through that I've liked them that they've done in a long time, Pickle.
right,
Usually it's the other way around. I support that if they can get that pushed through. It's needed. I think it'll be a better product and safety for the players.
right,
I agree with G Baby on the double dip and lineman in the draft. I wouldn't have a problem with it. I don't care what side of the
no,
ball,
You
to
need
be
to do it
honest.
just for depth at this
no.
point,
Well,
dude. You're
what?
right. As
Yeah,
bad
No,
as we
that's
fall
there's so
that's
apart.
much.
what the thing about this game last night, Pickle. I knew that 49ers depth was better than our Carolina depth. Like
Hmm.
Barnes coming in to play, like yeah, Barnes played good, and I give him credit. He played really good considering what I expected of him. But to have
Right,
him in the game versus those guys, the announcers were talking about these guys. I mean, those guys that got in the game late in the rotation in the depth for the 49ers were decent draft picks. They were fourth rounders, they were fifth rounders. Like the announcers were calling it out, and our guys are like practice squad career guys that we've got in there at that point. And I just knew something was up with the depth at that point. And we've been working on building it for how many years? How many years have we been talking about it, Pickle? Trying to get these Panthers to where we have enough depth where we can go through an entire NFL season and battle these injuries out.
um, yeah. I mean, we've battled injuries for a while. For a good long while. and every team in the league battles injuries like this, but we notice it more when they're on our team. But
because of that depth. You're
we
right.
definitely have to keep up the development. Um, I'll just say it. I would be all right to draft an interior and an exterior offensive lineman, and maybe move on from Chandler Savala. Um, he's to be honest with you, and Kyle Billy quoted it today, and I agreed with it. And Chandler Savala is either hurt or plays bad, one of the two. So
Are you done with BC too? I mean, do you think BC is worth
yeah,
re-signing?
I like BC a lot. I really do, but every time he starts and he really starts getting into playing good, he gets hurt. I think it may be time to let him walk. I mean, I personally, if his health is there, I would offer him a contract, but it would be closer to vet minimum, and he may just decide to move on at that point.
I'm surprised he signed this year for about
I think
for
he's
what he
trending
did.
backwards, man. I just saw him on his
Yeah,
ass getting manhandled entirely too much for me. I think a lot of the fans, maybe coaches, media, they wanted to push him over the top
Right,
to be a starting tackler guard, and I think he'll always just be a role player. He'll be a backup
right,
most anywhere, not just us.
right,
You know, if he's a backup for us, what it's going to be like at most places. Then
right,
no offense.
right. Yeah, and you know what? We have to draft or sign a quarterback in free agency or the draft um because Andy Dalton ain't getting no younger, and we know he'll end up retiring at some point.
I think Dave finds a UDFA for that, but that's just my opinion. I think he
Oh yeah,
finds another, no, yeah, another Plummer esque type
yeah,
guy that he likes and he wants to toy around with,
right,
develop, and that it just seems like that's just kind of Dave's mo.
right.
But he
Mhm.
likes these. He's made those comments before that he likes those guys that he doesn't have to explain certain
Right,
things to about the NFL. He likes the
right,
guys that are already NFL ready because Dave's been in the NFL for so long.
right,
So it may very well be some veteran that we don't have on our radar that Dave is like, yeah, this is a guy I might work with going in the future. Yeah, I think Mike White's a good example of that. Somebody who was never on mine or your radar, but a
right.
guy that's been in the NFL for a
Hmm.
while with just a cannon, and they're like, yeah, well, we might
Yeah.
see what we can do with him. So
Uh-huh.
that
Uh-huh.
I see that as a possibility also. And I just wanted to point out to Cole's point, Pickle, and I'll turn it over to you to
Yeah,
go
you
where
can.
you would like that it just as a Panthers fan, this season has been disappointing because our strength of this roster coming into this season was our offensive line. And for
Yes.
our offensive line to be the most injured of any offensive line in the NFL is really just stabbing at the heart of these Carolina Panthers and what we
Right.
could have accomplished this season, because I believe a couple of those games, if we were fully healthy, would have went the other way for us guys.
Deeds, I didn't want to say this just for the simple fact the jinx in us, and I know it's really convenient for me to say this right now, but I knew it was our strength, but that was one of my biggest concerns coming into the year. Is like, is our strength not going to be a strength anymore? And we've seen a few games where that's the case. Some of that might be the quarterback. Some of the bad play of the quarterback might be because of the offensive line. It's just, I don't know. You've got to get that offensive line, Canales and Bryce, all in cohesion every single week, or you'll never survive. And we're not to that point yet.
Right. One thing. Um. I'll throw this out there real quick. Some of the some of the younger free agent quarterbacks are Sam Howell, um, Trey Lance, and Michael Willis. Uh, it'd be interesting for Canales to get his hands on one of them as a developmental prospect. I think.
Yeah, Malik, he was drafted so high. Trey
Right.
Lance as well. I mean, these guys they get extra chances, and it
They
very well
do.
could be the
They
case. And
do.
Hooker
They
didn't
do.
get no extra chances here, though,
No, he
Pickle boy.
didn't. Well, as a Tennessee man, Hooker was on the practice squad for a while, so I feel good that they looked at him, they studied him, and for whatever reason, it wasn't going to work out, so they moved on with him quickly. I don't really mind that part. I really don't. I understand, you know. all you can ask is for a chance. And when you're on the practice squad for several weeks, for what, 9 weeks, at least 9 weeks, 10 weeks, you have that opportunity. It's up to you to make the most of it. So, um, you know, Sam Howell has started games. Um, Malik Willis has started games too, hadn't he?
Yes, he
Yeah,
has
he
for your
has.
for the
Both of
Tennessee
them,
Titans.
and he started them for the Packers, and both of them have started games and looked, depending on the game, fair. So I think to Brad's point, I think Dave strides at guys like that more than a rookie quarterback. I think if you ask Dave, I think he would rather have a quarterback like that than a rookie quarterback.
A
Um,
retread. He
right,
That
is the
might,
retread king.
he
if
And
is.
he's really like that, then that's gonna save Bryce. Then I feel like if he's
he's trying.
truly like
He's
that and doesn't
trying.
want a young quarterback, he's gonna stick it out with Bryce and not draft a quarterback. But at what point, how long do you hold on to that shit, Pickle? What I just counter with everybody, and I could totally be wrong, could totally be full of shit, and this ain't even really what I want. But does Dave Canales know he has more time than Bryce Young? And he's not really
Well,
worried about it.
well,
If Bryce fails, Bryce fails.
right. Let me ask you this. Let me counter your question with the question.
All right,
What I'll use Sam Howell for example. What if Dave and Dan bring Sam Howell in as depth on the roster, and maybe somewhere in the draft, he was hurt. The Chad, help me out. The Penn State quarterback. Um,
Aller, talking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
Big Drew.
yeah.
Drew
He
Aller.
was he was hurt. He'll be there in the mid rounds, I think.
Nah, your ass might be on to something now,
I mean,
Pickle.
and
And
then
I
then
have heard
then
you
you're
ask this question a
Dave,
few
you're
times.
Dave, and you present yourself with a rookie quarterback, mid round guy. Nobody you really put in a lot of stride in. We got Matt Corral in the mid round, so you know, and then you have Sam Howell. They compete a little bit. You never know when one of them may look better than Bryce as sometime early next season, and a change happens. Who knows?
Pickle,
Who
you're
knows what
asking,
might
you're
happen?
saying that with all three of them on the roster.
Who knows?
I'm not
Who knows?
against that.
If you're
You
drafting
need somebody.
someone
If
that,
Bryce Young stays here next year, Pickle, you
yeah,
have got to have somebody fully capable staring him in the eyes every day at practice, letting him know that if he cannot get this shit done, we have somebody just as good, if not better.
right. Well, I mean, it used to be
And it's
about
hard, Pickle.
competition. Yeah,
It's
it
not.
is. It is.
It
It
ain't. It
used to
ain't easy
always be about
finding.
competition.
What do they always say, Pickle? What you got? 5 or 6 great quarterbacks in this league right now, and everybody else is looking for it.
Right.
Like honestly,
Right.
and you got 32 damn teams in here, and I'm just as bad about anybody about our quarterback play. But it's hard. The shit is not easy getting the type of player you need in here. Invest in what we did, and the shit playing off.
Right. Right.
It's not easy.
Right. And Steve Smith used to say, competition will make you stronger or to ruin you,
Yep,
one or the other. And
it's time.
I believe that. I believe that. And I don't think Bryce has ever been scared of competition. And
No, I don't think so either.
we'll see what happens. And who knows? We have to finish the rest of this year. So who knows how there's a possibility of it coming out strong the rest of this year, and maybe proving you don't need that. But the organization will determine the 5th year option this early May and right after the draft, and that's how it's been set up for a long time now.
Pickle, I never speak for y'all. Well, I don't have to do this much for D's, and I really try not to speak for you, but I'm going to speak for you on this one because I'm getting in my feels a little bit about this right now. I'm not even going to lie to you. We do not sit on our couch every Sunday and watch the team we love most and want Bryce Young to fail. This is not the type of fandom that we have. This is not the type of pod that we have. We have no intentions or motives. I just feel like I need to say that because I'm always so critical and hard on him, but damn it, we just wasted, and I'm going to use that word again, wasted, because CMC was part of the shit. Who else is part of it? DJ Johnson. You got all these wasted assets. You damn right when my quarterback is not getting 100 yards passing until the fourth quarter or late into it, I'm
Yeah,
going to have a big ass attitude problem. I
yeah,
am. And until
right.
the shit gets better and he acts like at least a first rounder consistently every single week, I will not change.
That's a fact. Shout out to Panther Gal in the chat. We got a bona fide nutcracker on the roster. Yes,
Let's
we
go.
do.
Yes, sir. That was about the most. Yep, you were right, Pickle. At the very beginning, you had me smiling. That was about the most physical thing we did last night. And the other thing, I know I'm bouncing all over the place, but I do. You said something earlier that made me want to do this because when you're talking about development and younger players, I got to give a shout out to them young boys playing linebacker. They really did good. Bam Martin Scott had a few
Yeah,
good plays.
yep, he
I
did.
think he could potentially be a starter here. I
He
really
could.
do.
I do like how they're developing Bam Martin Scott, and that's the bad part. Earlier, I talked about development and the coaches. Some positions seems to develop. I can't say enough about the offensive line coach. You know, the things he had to face in the development. Bryce gets a lot more time to stand in that pocket than most other quarterbacks get. And the linebackers coach, the defensive line coach, he
AC
always,
Carter's the linebackers coach. Yeah, he's doing
yeah,
a good job.
yes,
He's a
he
good
is.
coach.
Yes, he is. And shout out to AJ Brooks, who says that I lost your comment, brother. It says, no, yeah. Daniel Jones doesn't have a contract next year. Just saying. Yeah, but I think it would be shocking the world if he slips out of free agent. If he slips out of the Colts camp, um, I suspect the Colts will franchise him if they can't get a contract ironed out.
Mm.
Yeah, we lost DJ Moore too. So
Yeah, let's not
that's
forget
right.
that as part of the Bryce Young shit. That's what's ripping
Right.
at my heart to this day. I did not like that. I was immediately out, Pickle. I don't give a damn if it was C.J. Stroud, any other quarterback in that class. It's not a shot at Bryce Young. When I saw DJ Moore's name on there with all the other shit, because he was the very last spot on the little ticker I was watching, and my heart just hit the floor, and I've never recovered from that. Being we really have done a piss poor, terrible job of replacing him. I feel like we finally got that right now with Nilo. He's our next great receiver. I can already see he has a skill set right now to be at least the second best receiver in NFL history for the Panthers. Stevie's always going to be that one, but Ted's going to be that dude. He's going to be very special for us. And I said all that shit because I wanted to rant earlier, and I didn't say the very most important part, Pickle, and it was at the very end. I do want Bryce Young to succeed. I want to win every single game. But at some point, we just got to stop banging our heads against a brick wall and just take your blinders off. And if you're not getting the production, 3.5 years in, three coaches, not 3.5, you know what I'm saying? Three coaches. At some point, it's the damn quarterback's fault. When are some people going to realize and just admit the truth? I need the shit on a week to week basis, Pickle. Even if it's just a clean game with 200, 250, you don't have to throw for 300, 400 yards. But I cannot emphasize, and I've already said it, I'm going to say it again. When you're not getting 100 yards to the fourth quarter, or you barely have it going into the fourth quarter, it's a problem as a number one overall pick. And it's not anybody's responsibility right now. Canales, Morgan, nothing to do with him coming here. And that shit's gonna hurt Bryce Young before it's over with, unless he turns it around. I want him to, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm just
Right.
keeping it real as a Panthers fan of 30
Right.
plus years.
Right, right. And yeah, exactly. And if this off season is really going to be different, I think we'll make some changes. Yes, sir, Panther Gal. We were
Shout out
yesterday.
Panther Girl.
We were all in our rapid reactions feelings last night. Absolutely.
It was awful. I
It
terrible. I
was.
feel bad
It
about it.
was. I for the first time in many years, I didn't watch the end of that game. I threw the towel in and went to bed about 10:30. When Bryce threw his
We
last
all
pick,
cashed out
I
after
said
Zach says
enough. We had a space going, and when he
that
threw that
second
last pick,
interception, but I went,
he said, "All right, we
yep.
good, we enough," and we
See
turned
y'all
it off.
tomorrow. That's it for me.
Yep.
Do y'all guess what? Guess what my moment was where I really got upset about that game last night. It was
Yeah.
that
I hope
forced
it was in the
fumble
first
from
quarter.
when we forced that fumble from Christian McCaffrey and didn't
Yeah.
recover it. I was so upset. I was like,
That was Trey?
how?
That was Trey, wasn't it? Trey fell right
Yeah.
on the ball and didn't
Two
recover it. Is
guys,
that
yeah,
correct?
two guys had their hands on the
Yes.
ball, and we forced it out from McCaffrey, and that was like would have been the biggest turning point ever. It's like, yeah, you keep running
That's so
McCaffrey at us, we're going to show you we're the Panthers. Knock this thing out. We're going to jump on it and drive down the field. Oh, that was the part that really got me the more than anything. That last interception, I know it was bad, but it was blatant holding. They were pass interference, PI, whatever you want to call it. They were pulling T
it
Mac's
was.
arm. It's
It was
like
terrible.
why it seems to me like T Mac doesn't get calls for PI because of his size. And like the NFL needs to come off of that shit. Like this is our rookie wide receiver that's having a
I
fantastic
feel that.
year. If somebody's grabbing on him, I don't care how big he is. He's our guy, and they need to throw the flag. Like he needs more flags. There's been probably 5 times this season I can highlight to where he would have had a monster play if they had thrown the flag, or he could have made a monster play if there hadn't been PI on the actual play where they didn't call it, Pickle. Have you been
Right.
kind of disappointed about that? Are you
I
seeing those
have,
types
I
of plays
have,
too?
I have, and I really the NFL that they may never admit
Tired
it
of it.
publicly, but they have a very big and major officiating problem right now. They really do.
They do.
They really do,
Why are
and
we not year-round like $1 million officials?
who
That's
knows? Who
crazy.
knows? Yeah, they can afford it. That's who knows. And
Are they
I
still not full-time, Pickle? Because if they're not,
no, no, they're not full time. They're still not full time. I
Yeah, they're
don't know what.
part-time associates.
Right,
It's
right,
crazy. And they're like,
right,
they say that they're all in awe of just being there at the game. Like the
right.
officials think it's a big deal that they just get to be a part of the NFL, even though they're only part time. And I would rather have a really professional group that calls
Yeah,
it the same
yeah.
way each and
Well,
every time.
according to Panther Gal, they're part of an organization.
Not that particular organization, Panther Gal, maybe a different one.
The Mob Squad, maybe.
Yeah, not that squad. But yeah, all
I,
the holding they could have called, for the Panthers last night. I mean, how many times did Nick Scorton get grabbed by both his shoulder pads and no flag come out? I mean, it was a lot because I like to watch Nick Scorton because he's a rookie, what he
Right.
does off the
Mhm.
line. And man, he got held a lot last night, a whole lot, and nobody threw any kind of flag. And I think Derek Brown had an off night too, as disheartening as that is from the PFF score. I know we hadn't brought that up, so for Panthers fans that were wondering, Derek Brown had a rough night as far as stopping the run
was that
via
just
the
the first
PFF
drive,
score.
though, D's? I mean, we got gutted and dried out on that first drive, and at times, yeah, we forced the turnovers, and shout out to the best cornerback in the league, J.C. Horn. But I just feel like we were gassed, at least with the big boys, the rest of the game, just because of that first drive. It was bad.
And I think that's what Pickle's so mad about. If I had to pick what he's most upset about, it's the fact that
He should be.
Shanahan come out and gave the ball to CMC and said, "Guess what? We're going to impose our will on you today." And we didn't return the favor on offense. We didn't. Dave Canales
Absolutely.
didn't return the favor with Rico
It was
Dowdle.
like it was fixed. It was that shitty, D's.
And,
That's how
well,
shitty it was. It really
that
felt like a rare game.
and I felt upset
I felt
for our
cheated.
corners. Our corners. I mean,
Me too.
I mean, uh, we've been begging for interceptions all year. Mike Jack got us one. JC got us two. The defense did their part. They did their part to say, "Here, offense,
Shout
4
out
points.
EJ.
Let's win this sucker on prime time." And offense like, "Nah, we good." And I'm like, "No, the hell, you ain't good."
I mean, how frustrating for Rivera to
You
call
know,
it.
I'm right, and I love my Panthers. And I'm not. If I saw Bryce Young, I'll be honest with you, I'd have to look up at him. Yeah, I'm 5'6". Yeah, that's true. I'm shorter than Bryce Young, so I can make short jokes. Y'all can't. So, but I'd say I love you, bro, but yeah, we gotta do better, man. You know, you gotta do better.
Here's an angle I haven't heard anyone bring up, Pickle. I'll let you tackle this. Could the Panthers find themselves in a place where Vero doesn't want to re-sign here, and the Panthers would like for him to re-sign?
Yes.
Could we be heading towards that?
Repeat that for me.
Could the Carolina Panthers find themselves in a position where they would like to re-sign Avero, but at the end of the season, Avero says, Mm, I think I'm looking to move on and try my
Uh,
options somewhere else other than
That's
here.
highly possible.
it's possible. It's highly possible. I mean, you got to remember
Mhm.
he wanted to leave a couple years ago. And if you're Ivero and you worked hard to get where you're at, and you've worked, and it goes down with the same thing I mentioned about Rico. If the Panthers want to sign Rico, why would he stay? If he doesn't see that the offense is going to get better, why would he
He ain't
stay?
staying. I don't think he's
And
staying now,
it's like
Pickle.
Ivero. If they say we want to sign you long term, Ivero like, no, I think I can go be a defensive coordinator over a team that's a little bit more consistent. It's possible. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's entirely possible. So
Yeah, and it probably depends on how we do down this stretch, the hardest
it
stretch of the
is, it
season.
is, it is. And listen, there's the Giants. The Giants right now are going with their interim coach and an interim defensive coordinator. You never know. You never know about some of these jobs opening up. You know, a lot of friends in different places. So you know, we've been on for an hour. I believe we're going to call it a night. Appreciate y'all joining us. Really, truly do. Y'all keep us favorite on your favorite list. Um, Next time I go live, I'm gonna try to share the link to YouTube on Twitter. Um, and but y'all keep pounding with us, okay? Hold on a minute, let's see what D money. Well, that's true. That's true. That's true, D money. You're not wrong. A lot of these free agents, if they feel that the fans aren't behind them, they will leave. That's 100% true. Uh, but some fans are just going to be that way. Uh, but that is true. That does happen. But a lot of these players also know that uh, if you play bad, or no, I don't want to say bad. If you have issues while you're playing, the Panther fans are going to call you out on it. And but they're also will be your biggest fan and your biggest defender if they feel that you're right or you've been treated wrong. Keep pounding. Deej, you got anything else you want to add before we shut her down?
Buckle up, Buttercups. This schedule gets tough.
That's a fact. That's a fact, folks. Um, that's a fact. The schedule gets a lot tougher um, as we go forward. Um, our schedule gets tougher, and
Deal with it Mondays, 7 p.m. is what we're aiming for. We're just on Tuesday tonight because of the Monday night game. We had some issues getting started. So look for Deal with It on YouTube live on Mondays, 7 p.m.
that's a fact. That's a fact. Thank you. Yeah. The Tampa Bay schedule is a little lighter than ours. Um, the Tampa Bay uh, has uh, Uh, yeah, they face the Cardinals, the Saints, us, the Falcons, and the Dolphins, and us again. So our schedule will is consistent of well, D's just read our schedule earlier, but go over it real fast. We've got the Rams, the Saints, the Bucks twice, and the Seahawks. So we have a little harder schedule than I don't care about the Vic. Uh, anyway, Cole, you got anything to say before we shut it down, brother?
I knew you were about to shut it down. First and foremost, I have been lagging hard as hell, so I'm not gonna flip out like these. We're at the end of the show, man. But I just appreciate you, Pickle. You had a great show tonight, man. Even though it was just an hour, we rocked this thing out. We're gonna have to keep this rolling. DE's, you're the best in the game, my brother. I appreciate y'all. Hope you have a good night. No cold show Thursday. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
So
Thanksgiving, y'all.
we're gonna do this next weekend, boys. See you.